Movie is Frankenstein, which was adapted from the novel by Mary Shelley and written and directed by Guillermo Del Toro. The film follows a brilliant but egotistical scientist that manages to successfully reanimate an amalgam of corpses, bringing to life a monstrous creature in a daring experiment that ultimately leads to the undoing of both the creator and his extremely tragic creation. I am honestly so thankful that I got to see this movie in theaters because this is exactly the type of movie that was made for the big screen. It actually pains me that most people will probably watch this at home, sitting on their couch, while more than likely spending the majority of the movie on their phone. But I do appreciate that Guillermo Del Toro fought tooth and nail to give this movie as big of a theatrical release as he possibly could, because this movie looked incredible in the theater. Del Toro proved once again with this film that he is a master of world building. The level of detail and thought that he puts into his films, from the costuming to the set design to the creature design and each of the characters, is truly unbelievable. It's astonishing just how good he can be in that regard. His extremely clear vision just screams through every scene of his movies, and especially in this film. This movie felt like a retelling of the classic story of Frankenstein in a lot of different ways, but I think what sets it apart is that it goes much deeper into Dr. Frankenstein's life and background, and of course Guillermo del Toro adds his signature charm and depth of emotion to the story that I personally just love. He's able to imbue his characters with such great complexity, really taking the time to watch them change and develop and grow as the film goes on. I really liked that the film started out by framing Dr. Frankenstein as this poor, innocent victim who's on the run from this vicious monster, and his monster as, well, a monster that's extremely violent and has this bloodlust and is truly just trying to kill and maim as many people as he possibly can. And there's this beautiful, very slow reversal that takes place, not just through the course of the film, but also through the course of the lives of the two titular characters, which we see quite a bit of, that makes both of them feel just deeply human. The film follows a chapter format that I wasn't really sure of at first, but ultimately, I really appreciated it because it paced the film in a way that flowed tremendously well despite the 2.5 hour runtime. And it allowed us to get to know these characters intimately by showing us their perspectives throughout their journeys. Del Toro manages to make so much of the macabre magnificent and wonderful. For instance, there's one scene in particular where there's a cadaver that's just positioned so uniquely that it should probably feel disturbing, but it weirdly feels almost naive and delicate, like it's actually one of Dr. Frankenstein's own children. The set design is incredibly rich, leveraging many amazing real locations as well as some spectacular miniatures that makes the film feel highly immersive for the viewer. The costuming is outstanding and gorgeous for everyone that appears on screen. Again, the attention to detail is so ridiculously good because even background actors who are only in a single scene will have some of the most extravagant outfits of the entire movie. Guillermo del Toro's use of color always amazes me as well because he does things very atypical of movies like this, where he consistently uses these bright, vibrant colors that aren't always the logical choice, but that end up looking better than anything you could really imagine on screen. And that's something else that I admire about Del Toro, is that he's an expert at knowing when to do the things that make sense and when to abandon all logic for the sake of the cinematic effect. There's a moment that comes to mind with this film where Dr. Frankenstein is burning something down and he has dozens and dozens of gas cans scattered about. And logically, does it make sense that he would have tons and tons of gas cans? No, of course not. But it adds a grandness to the scene that makes the entire sequence feel more dramatic and captivating than if there were just a few gas cans, which would likely get the job done. The score and music of the film were extraordinary and further added so much to the romantic, whimsical, and tragic moments of the movie. Oscar Isaac and Jacob Elordi gave life to these variations of Dr. Frankenstein and his monster through their exceptional performances that were heavily nuanced and immensely touching. I personally loved this adaptation of Frankenstein because of the unbelievably beautiful world that Guillermo del Toro created for this movie, the amazing costume and set design that are distinctly Del Toro, and the deeply human plot that the cast impeccably carried out. I don't know if this is still playing in a movie theater near you, but if it is, run to go see it there instead of watching it at home on Netflix, because I'm telling you, this is seriously worth the movie theater experience. So go watch Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel, please like the video, and add a comment letting me know what you thought of this movie, or what movie you think I should review next. I put out a movie review each week, so subscribe to stay tuned. Thanks, y'all.